Hello, everybody, and welcome to my channel where we discuss the healing power of rock and roll. My name is Jack. My band is called Mera. There's a link in the description with all my streaming services that you can jump on: Spotify, Bandcamp, Apple, whatever you listen to music to. However you listen to your music, I would really appreciate if you checked it out, and I thank you very much. You know, music definitely heals. It heals me. We're in a very interesting spot here in 2022 because I think we had quite possibly the greatest year for live music maybe in all of mankind. All at the same time, you know, it was like everything all at once, forever. Boom. Every band you could ever possibly see. And I think it's a pretty amazing time to be alive. Right off the bat, every big legacy artist you can imagine played live this year. We had Elton John, Bruce Springsteen, the Eagles, Genesis, Sir Paul McCartney. You know, we're talking about big shows. I didn't get to see any of those, but I saw a lot of bands. I just want to show my gratitude and appreciation for everybody out there working hard, touring, because live music is so special. Unlike when you listen to a recording, you know, when you go to a show, you're in a room and you're just surrounded by other people who love that band just as much as you do. So there's this whole energy in the room that you can feel. It's palpable. And then the band plays. They pour their heart out right there on stage, right in front of you. Everybody shares in this sort of musical communion. And it's just a really gratifying experience. It's like none other. And I really missed it for those couple of years when, you know, everybody had to cancel their tour. Well, turns out everybody went back on tour at the exact same time, and it's just been crazy. For instance, Duran, you know, is still out there playing. Roxy Music. But just in the last month alone, just in October, I saw 8 incredible shows. I saw Japanese Breakfast, Fontaine's DC, Mama, Sabrina Carpenter and Girl House, Johnny Marr and the Killers, Bob Mould, Too Much Joy, and Lloyd Cole. That's just October. One excellent show was Japanese Breakfast, who has been playing a lot of big festivals, and she's got this, you know, pretty elaborate stage show that she does. And I got to see her in a pretty small club here, Baltimore Soundstage, and she was amazing. Also, I got to see this new artist, Girl House. She opened for Sabrina Carpenter, who a friend of mine is a roadie on her tour. And so I ended up seeing Sabrina Carpenter, who I didn't even had never heard of. And opening for her was Girl House, who I thought was a really great talent. Also, one to watch, the band Mama, who I saw at Songbird in Washington, D.C. They've got a long career ahead of them, and if they keep writing music like they did this year, then they're gonna be one to watch for sure. The biggest spectacle that I saw was the Killers. Their show had confetti cannons. There was a laser, it was like a laser show, Pink Floyd kind of style. There was a big video wall. They had a different video for pretty much every song. But that was pretty amazing stuff. And also Johnny Marr from the Smiths was the opener. So they did about 4 Smiths songs. So that was pretty incredible. My favorite live band of all time, they're called the Afghan Wigs. I saw them 3 nights in a row, DC, Philadelphia, and in Brooklyn. And if you ever get a chance to see the Afghan Wigs, I highly recommend it. Their new album is amazing. And it was the first time I'd ever seen any band 3 nights in a row, but it happened to be my favorite, so that was pretty incredible. My favorite venue was the Buren in Boston, where I got to see Juliana Hatfield, and she was playing a warm-up show for some festivals that she was going to be doing. So she just played this tiny little bar. It was just maybe 100 people, maybe 150 people tops. It was right there in Boston, and it was just you could have been walking down the street and you never would have known Juliana Hatfield was playing a show. It was pretty amazing. But I think the best city to live in is Baltimore, quite honestly, because we have DC, and every band that comes through the East Coast either plays Baltimore or DC. Sometimes they play both. Plus, I'm really close to Philadelphia. I'm really close to Lancaster. I'm close to Harrisburg. And New York and Boston aren't like crazy far. So I really like where I am right now as far as the best city to see shows. The most fun show was definitely Too Much Joy at this place called Jam and Java in Vienna, Virginia. And this, like, Too Much Joy is, they're sort of almost like stand-up comedians and a band at the same time. They're hilarious, they're energetic, and they just rock. Again, a very small venue, about 200 people. They blew the roof off that place. Just an amazing. And this is just October. I'm not even including the other shows that I saw all year. Just to sum up, how great a year 2022 was in general. Out of my top 10 favorite bands of all time, 8 of them are on tour. Okay, so Dinosaur Jr., who I'm going to see, Guided by Voices, who I'm going to see in December, the Afghan Whigs, who I saw 3 times, Juliana Hatfield, who I saw in Boston, Superchunk, I saw them in DC. I didn't see Sugar because Sugar is just Bob Mould. Bob Mould plays solo now, but I did see Bob Mould. I saw him at the Ram's Head in Annapolis, and he did play 2 songs by Sugar. Helmet played in DC in June, and I could have gone, but I don't know why. For some reason, I just didn't go. I guess I had nothing better to do, but for some reason, I didn't go. But they were on tour. I didn't see the Pixies, but they were on tour, and I probably could have seen them, but there was just so much going on. My Bloody Valentine doesn't tour at all, really, very rarely. And that just leaves my number 1 favorite band of all time, Nirvana, who of course isn't a band anymore, but 2/4 of Nirvana were in the Foo Fighters, Dave Grohl and Pat Smear. And I did have tickets to see the Foo Fighters. I was going to see them with my nephew in May. So I was about to see the Foo Fighters, 2 members from my favorite band of all time, with my nephew, no less. But unfortunately, tragically, we lost Taylor Hawkins. And what a terribly sad and tremendous loss for music. Because, man, he's probably my favorite drummer of the current era. And his spirit was just unmatched. He was such a rock and roller. He was a great person, I think, from what I could tell. I never met him, but he seemed like a pretty cool person. Just to be taken, he was only 50, so that was really, really, really young. And to just show the further power of rock and roll and how it can heal your soul, Dave Grohl did 2 tribute concerts to Taylor Hawkins, and there's just really no better example than those tribute shows to the healing power of music, because not only were his fans able to pay tribute to someone that they've lost, but also Dave Grohl and the guys in the band and the people he worked with, they were also able to, find a small amount of peace just knowing that they were able to do that, and that so many artists came out and performed. He was friends with everybody, including Paul McCartney, the members of Queen, Chrissie Hynde of the Pretenders, and Stuart Copeland, and John Paul Jones. It was insane to see all these people come out. He was so loved. If there's any example of the healing power of music that we saw in 2022, it would have been those tribute concerts to Taylor Hawkins. I unfortunately couldn't attend either of them, but from what I saw, if you haven't had a chance to check out the one from Wembley Stadium, you should really check it out. It's pretty amazing stuff, and I think a lot of people were comforted by it, and I know I was. So, yeah, there's really nothing more that I can say. That concert pretty much was the epitome of how music can help you heal. Let me know if you guys have any stories of when music healed you, when you felt the healing power of rock and roll and it helped you through a hard time. Go ahead and leave a comment down below and smash that like button. Subscribe. It helps me out. And we'll have more discussion about the amazing healing power of rock and roll right here on this channel. Thanks a lot, everybody.